Welcome on in, guys, to Crashing Game Night. We are live tonight. We're going to be joined by content creators and streamers, Yunalescka, who will be joining us here momentarily, and Soldier 1stClass. You know, everybody knows Tim. You know, Soldier's joining, so expect some
without the beard.
Some shenanigans. This is your host, as always, Matt Diorio. We are joined by the Beanied one, Gerard Barrera.
Hup, 2, 3, 4. Hup, 2, 3. That's right. What is up, Soldier 1stClass? What's up, baby? Thank you for joining us. Hello, all my fellow nerds.
I was so
Thank you for
confused for a
listening.
second there. I'm like, what
I just thought of it, and I was like, I wonder if it'll work.
Okay.
But hey, guys, thanks for joining. What's going on?
Oh, what's going on with you? I mean, you seem like so. As always,
we did talk about smoking some things beforehand.
Right.
Apparently, it's affecting you a little bit.
That's Babyface Theowalski.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And then the man with the couch, Jason Lion's Mane Balidio.
Wow. How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight? Oh man, Soldier, I don't know what you were thinking, man. It's
I grabbed the wrong guard.
oh man. Like it is a full different person. A new person.
Younger and very nice looking.
I thought it would be like an April Fool's joke, you know, that it's
right.
quite fitting, but yeah.
As we're waiting for Yunalescka to join on in, I want to say everybody welcome on into Game Night that just came over from her channel on a nice big fat raid there. So everybody welcome into Game Night. So we'll give Yunalescka here a minute to join on in.
Double raid.
But yeah, I mean, it is weird seeing you kind of like shaved there, kind of trimmed up there. Soldier,
and that is the thing, isn't it?
But I appreciate you not going completely bare, so I can stay the baby face out of everybody.
You know, when I did it out of the kindness of my heart for you.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, I'm trying, but it's just not working, man. Like you still see nothing.
How long did that take, Theo? How long?
I'm going on a week so far.
That is a week. Wow.
Oh, wait, that's
a week.
Wow. So
yeah,
this is like 2 days. So
yeah. So how's everyone's week been? I'll start with you, Soldier. How's
not bad. I've actually gotten a few videos done, which is surprising because
I know, right? I saw you post about that. I'm like,
yeah, I've been slacking a little bit, but it's not been too bad. Just been figuring out some things, getting some stuff worked up for the stream, kind of doing a revamping of the channels. So,
cool.
As you've noticed,
a new direction.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been doing some 14 stuff, obviously, and then we are also changing up like our graphics, everything for the channel. So it's been a pretty busy last couple of weeks for me.
Oh, very cool.
Very, very nice.
In fact, I have a new stream intro coming.
You have a new
tomorrow.
Stream intro?
I do. It's coming tomorrow night.
Preview.
Nice.
Nice little preview.
And we've got Yunalescka joining in.
Hey.
On audio, at least.
Yeah, she's
We'll
trying.
hear her momentarily. So she's trying. So, Jerry, how's your week been?
Hello.
Hey, Yunalescka.
Oh, Yunalescka.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I just downloaded this, so I have to organize it.
Not a problem.
You good?
It's okay. I have to ask Matt the code for the room every time we do this.
Every time. It's
Every
like
time.
he's on here so many times,
surprising.
you just have it saved.
I don't know how to save it.
It auto saved for me. I just join previous room.
Yeah, it auto save for me too. I just go under past things and then just go under Matt Diorio.
I think this should just be our thing now.
It's okay, Soldier. You're still pretty. You're still pretty. Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
Especially with that Boston hat on too.
Hey, speaking of baseball, really quick.
Oh,
Hey,
I know.
Jerry.
You're getting him started. You're getting him started.
I know. You
Oh,
know
your
what? The
fault, Jerry.
moment,
Come on.
the moment
your
I
fault.
said it, I knew
Why?
he was gonna say something.
Let's go Rockies. That's all I gotta say. There
You
she
know what?
is.
At least he said,
Hi.
"Let's go Rockies," and not just "Boo Dodgers." Hi, Yunalescka. How
Hi,
you doing?
can you guys hear me okay? Like,
Yeah,
it's
you're
good?
fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How was your stream?
It was awesome. We were playing Final Fantasy VI.
Hey,
Nice.
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. How
Well,
are you
well-
guys?
We're doing all right. We're just kind of getting caught up on that, and we've got some news. Like I got vaccinated today,
Yes.
Yes.
so yeah, we're gonna do that. Jason, there you go.
Yo, flex on them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There it is. I was able to.
But
I
you're
was
one and done
actually-
though.
I
You're
am one and done. I was able to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine down here, so
Oh, very nice.
Did
I
it
don't have to
hurt?
do the 2-shot. You know what? The needle going in, it didn't hurt, and then the vaccine went in, and you could feel it right up in the muscle and whatnot. It's a little sore right now.
I'm
But,
proud you got through it,
I'm
Matt,
okay.
because
Yeah.
we know your problem with needles.
You know what though?
I'm sure Eva was
But-
there holding his hand for him.
Yeah.
Nope, she was getting her. No, she was getting her vaccine like the next row over.
Oh, I would have thought she would have already had it by now.
No, she waited for me to get it done. So
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
gotta love my wife for waiting for me.
Aw, support.
Yeah.
Yep, and
And
gotta
then
the
be a great
family
weight
that
off the
vaccines
shoulders.
together.
and then
I know.
Theo got his first dose today as
Did
well.
get it today.
Oh,
yes.
flex on them, Theo. Flex on
That's
them.
really good.
I already took my shower and took off the Band-Aid though. So,
So, anyways,
but yours was a
Hi.
drive up too, right, Matt? Was
so
it drive
ours
through
ours was up at Richmond International Raceway. So they had a whole building that they do some of the prep out at. They had that all set up with just lines. So you drive in, you park, you get out, you go inside, get your shot, come out.
I had to do mine purely in the car. It was
That
just
was a pretty
one
sweet
long
pic you
line
sent,
of cars,
the
and we
stadium.
just do it through the window. That's it.
Yep. And Sad Old Magician, yes, absolutely. Johnson & Johnson, it is starting to be a bit sore right now. So I agree with you on that one. But the fact is, it's one and done. I don't have to worry about it anymore, especially with us moving to Phoenix the end
Yeah.
of the month. So I don't have to worry about second dosage. So
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So
So let's
weight
go
off
ahead
the
and
shoulders. Yeah.
everybody that follows our podcast knows the shenanigans that Soldier brings to the table anytime he shows up. So
Way
we
to call a
tolerate the
guy
Boston
out, you
talk.
know.
But let's introduce our listeners to Yunalescka though. I know a lot of the people that are watching right now are avid followers of yours, both on Twitter, on Twitch, YouTube, all of your channels. But for those of our listeners, you are probably one of the biggest Final Fantasy collectors I know about. Case in point, what's behind you?
My shrine.
It's a shrine that I do not envy you having to pack up.
No, I have to pack it up again, and it's gonna suck ass. So yeah.
That is quite the collection, though.
I know.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That
and you
is
are
awesome.
a partner on Twitch.
Yes.
So really, what got you into not only the Twitch streaming space, but also into collecting Final Fantasy? And I mean Final Fantasy as a whole, because you are not just focused on one game. You cover pretty much all of it.
I do. Honestly, it just because I have 3 older brothers, so they're the ones that got me into gaming when I was young. So without them, I don't think I'd love my JRPGs or Final Fantasy. So I started young and became obsessed for like 30 years now of collecting.
Wow.
What was the game that got you hooked?
Honestly, well, it was not a Final Fantasy game, but when I started Dragon Warrior, that's when I started getting into those type of games. I'd watch my brothers all day. I just watch them play it, and then I'm like, I want to play, and then they wouldn't let me play because I'm just a young kid. So all I can do is watch them play. So then I think Final Fantasy 1 is what I started with them, but I think Final Fantasy 4, which is 2 American, that's the one that got me into obsessed over Final Fantasy.
The whole American numbering.
I know,
system.
4 which is 2, 6 which is 3, and people are like, what's the difference? And it's just here's a link, go read up on it.
Oh, Jason, the ye old Japanese section at the old job.
Oh yes. You know, it's
Jeez.
So great.
Which Final Fantasy are you getting? Oh, are you sure that's the right number? Yeah.
Seriously, this
We
is the
got
only
you,
one that
don't
came
worry.
out.
Oh
It's
god.
in English. You can read it.
Right.
3 and 5 didn't even come out till what, late 90s, early 2000s in the Americas?
3 was on Super Nintendo. So
No, I mean,
I think
the
didn't a
actual
couple
3.
versions
Mhm.
didn't a couple
Oh, the
versions
actual.
get created like for PlayStation when they were
PlayStation.
yeah.
Yes, the anthologies.
Yeah.
Right.
Anthologies,
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
god, those were so annoying to get.
Yep,
Oh,
I agree.
those were the worst customers too. Like, are you sure this is the right one? It just came out. Like, yeah. We don't get many of these in, you know.
Yeah,
It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta. So I gotta ask you. So what does your family think about not only with you doing the amount of streaming that you do, but also your vastly growing collection?
They think I have a problem. I don't know. I think they think I've had a problem for a long time. Well, the thing is, like, when I grew up, I just spent all my money on like my collectibles. Like, I'm not that type of girl that's like, oh, I want to buy all these expensive purses or like crazy expensive like $300 shirts. Like, I just spent it on, I want to buy this $200 collectible. So like I just spent it on that. And then my parents were like, okay, like as long as you're doing something that you love and spending your money on something that makes you happy, like that's it, right?
Oh yeah, it's like
So-
stamp collecting, or
It's like a-
stamp collecting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's-
Or like cards or like whatever hobby you have that you put all your passion into, you know? So
That's collecting in general. It's you're collecting
Yeah.
something that makes you happy personally. It may not be the most normal thing sometimes, but
Mhm.
yeah,
that's what makes you happy.
yeah, true.
Do you have any duplicates? Is what I'm curious.
I do.
Like,
I do have duplicates. I have like boxes. I still don't even have everything in this room unpacked yet because I just moved like 2 years ago. And I have no room to fit anything. So like things are still
See,
sitting in the storage room.
I
People
feel
see
that.
problem. I see opportunity. Because
Oh,
as a collector, I would be planning like getting some display cases and like
Yeah.
really like, you know what I mean? Like make a
Yeah.
display of it.
yeah.
An opportunity.
Well,
People may
this-
see chaos, but it's opportunity to make it look better.
It is. And I think this last move, hopefully it's the last one for a long time. And I can actually like unpack everything and just like organize everything. Cause right now it's just like a freaking mess, you know, like it's just everywhere. And I want to be able to like make a big collection video. Like everyone's like, when's your next upgraded like collection video on YouTube? And I'm like, well, I don't know, soon. And it's been like soon for the past like year. So I don't know when. Hopefully after my move.
It's
Well,
okay.
and then
I moved
everything.
last year. I bought this house last year, and this behind me is still. I've got loads in the closet, so
Yeah.
I need
Yeah,
to.
you know my pain. To
Yeah,
unpack everything.
it's hard to find
Yeah.
a spot. Like,
yeah.
Well,
I just
and
moved
then-
and I actually had to put everything away. So I don't have
Yeah.
anything out right now. And it kills me. Like I
Oh,
like
no.
being surrounded by my proton, my Egon proton pack and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a good amount of
Nerd.
statues, dude.
I
Uni
had some good
statues.
statues too, man.
all
Yeah.
my statues are in storage. But then, she's got this collection, right? And then she decided, hey, guess what? I'm going to start doing Final Fantasy TCG and playing around with that shenanigan.
Oh. Dude, you don't understand. Like I'm
I
addicted
do.
now.
He does
Oh,
understand.
yeah, you
Actually
understand.
does.
Actually, yeah, you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
that
Yep.
does understand this one.
I mean, honestly, what's funny is I was on Dragoons as an actual deck build before it actually became popular. And now they're coming out with all the new Dragoons and the current
Yeah.
set and whatnot. But yeah, I've been playing Dragoons since day one. Since I started
Wow.
playing the game. Now going on almost 2 years now. It's gonna be sad
Wow.
though, because I'm gonna be leaving the crew that I've been playing with for a while. We haven't been able to play actually in a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting and whatnot. So
Yeah.
but yeah, so with the current climate right now, when we look at just streaming in general, right? We'll talk about the other climate here in a second. But
Yeah.
when you look at, being a female gamer and streamer in today's society right now, how does it make you feel? Because I know everybody will make that comments, well, she's attractive, that's the only reason people will watch, and
Yeah.
she's a female, that's the only reason people watch.
She's
So
got
how do you
boobs. Wow. Like
right? So
sorry.
how do you feel when you see those comments made, and how hard it actually is it really to be a streamer, let alone get to partner being a woman gamer?
Honestly, like I don't deal with a lot of that crap anymore. It's really weird. Like I used to be a Heroes of the Storm streamer. Like I streamed that for
Oh.
Blizzard for 5 years. Like this is this is not what I've done like my whole streaming career. So I streamed HOTS for 5 years, and that's when I got like the most negative, like toxic people in my chat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh wow, like where's your this? How come you're not showing enough this and this or this and that? And I'm like, why? Just because I'm a girl? Like, come on. So ever since I switched, like it was just recent. I think it's been like a year, like half a year. I don't know how long it's been since I switched to my Final Fantasy and JRPGs and stuff. I've been getting like on the rare occasion someone says something bad. You know what I mean? Like it's not that often anymore. So I think playing an online game made people say a lot more negative shit, like in your chat and in your games. And then meeting like the JRPG community and Final Fantasy people, like everyone's just been super nice, except for like the other thing that we'll talk about later.
Yep.
But like, you know, you get the rare, you know, mean comment, but that stuff doesn't get to me. Like, I don't know, it's weird. Like I'm immune to it or something. So I know there's some other people who are very sensitive to it. And that's what pisses me off, because they can't tolerate that stuff. So they go under depression, and they, you know, go through a lot of other stuff, which is very bad. And I think for me, it's just like, wow, random words on the internet from someone I don't know. So fuck that. Like, why am I going to let it get to me? You know, that's just how
now
it is.
Now on the flip side is, I'm not going to name the channel's name and everything, but it came out about 2 weeks ago. There was a fairly decent sized female streamer that came out and basically on video on her stream and said, basically, if you can't afford to subscribe to my channel, just get out. It was very F-bomb laden and everything.
I didn't even hear about this. What?
Yeah,
So
this has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while. Yeah,
it's been a couple. It's been a couple weeks. Because honestly, for how she was on that stream and how she kind of treats her viewers, I'm not going to give her the actual credit of being named on our podcast. But
yeah.
When you hear of streamers, not only a female streamer that kind of does go more the sexualized route, right, to try and get those people, but also just in general, we've seen other bigger streamers out there trying to pull the same thing. When you see them say, hey, if you can't afford to sub to my channel, just get out and stop watching, and basically having their mods ban those people from the channel. How does that make you? And Soldier, same question to you too, is how do you guys feel when you guys see people doing that as Twitch streamers?
So I think for me, it's
Dumb.
There's already a stigma, I think, when it comes to streaming or being a content creator anyway, about how like, oh, we just do it for the money, or we just do it for this or whatever. And I think when people do those kinds of things, they confirm the bias that people have towards content creators. And I think it gives us all kind of a bad name. And that's like my problem with it, is that I grind my ass off for everything that I've ever had, and I don't even ask for donations or subs. And if people want to do those things, I absolutely adore it. I'm super grateful for it. But my content's always been free, and I don't feel like you should have to pay me to watch me stream. Like it's not that important to me. But I also have a full-time job, so it's not my full-time career. But even if it was, I would never be that type of person, because it seems desperate, and it seems like you're begging for people to like you or to not like you, I guess, if that's how you want to go.
I could never do that. Like, I think ever since day one of my streams, I've always been like, I want to build a community that's more like family, because I know there's a lot of people that go through a lot of stress, a lot of like anxiety, and they don't have a lot of people to talk to. So I feel like my stream, I've always wanted a place where people can just hang out without subbing, without donating. And if they do exactly what Soldier said, like, that's awesome. You know, that's great. You're supporting my streams, but you're also supporting me when you're just hanging out with me, because it helps me too. Because I like talking to people. I like sharing my passions with people. So like, I would never in the life, like if I had like a donation goal, I'd be like, hey guys, this is a goal. You know, this is what I am looking forward to. Maybe I can get this to like stream it or something, you know, like it's just something that's going to help me out. That's literally all I've asked for. And I know the other day, someone was like, how come you don't raise your sub goal? Like, I've left it at 10 for so long, and everyone just kept saying like, raise it to like 20 or 25. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to raise it that high. Like, I don't need to, because I'm here to like just hang out and have fun with people, you know? Like, I don't think begging, and everyone's going to do their own shit in streams. Like, everyone's different, but I don't think asking and begging for money and all that stuff is necessary. Like, that's just, I find that wrong. Sorry.
I agree. I would agree 100%.
Like, it's just not cool. I don't know.
So let's talk about that other community, shall we? That we kind of alluded to.
Jeez.
So last week's episode, for those that did get to watch it and everything, we did had Aaron Kaufman on from Square Enix, who is the director of social and community over there. And we kind of did bring this up to him about kind of what's been going on in the Final Fantasy community as of late. You know, of course, for him, because of what he does within that realm, he's kind of, you know, he does say that he does emphasize with everybody, but he's kind of got to also look after the brands that he's kind of having to build up in the new communities. But when we look at it, right, it seems like, and we're a year after the games come out too, even, is that the toxicity has seemed to be getting much, much worse around FF7 specifically. And it's starting to make people quit doing content for both in general, but also too, as in like Soldier's case, you kind of went to FF14 and found a new home and a new supportive community within that realm. So first off is how's it making you guys feel as both huge ardent fans of Final Fantasy, to the point where, you know, you guys have loved the different games, and Soldier FF7 too, is that you have so much gatekeeping, bullying going on right now, both from the FF7 space, but also from the Final Fantasy community in general, because I've been seeing some posts about, you know, how some other people are being within that community.
So I think for me, like, the biggest thing is, so I used to be on the very positive side of everything, right? Like I used to, when the game was about to come out, I was the guy, you know, there was a couple of us that were like, this is going to be great. We're expecting great things. And I always tried to like curb the toxicity in my own community and in the community in general. And then when the game released, and I was a little bit disappointed in some things, it was like you had this giant shift in the fan base, and they felt personally attacked by one of the FF7 dedicated content creators not liking the direction that the remake took. And it kind of took on this form of, I don't want to say hive mind, because I hate thinking that people genuinely don't have their own thoughts on things. But at the time, it felt like, you know, if you read my comment sections after the game came out and I gave my opinion on the ending and the other stuff, it was just this wave of people coming in to harass you. People would get on Twitter and try to get you canceled. They would try to get your sponsorships pulled. Like, I had people tagging Square Enix saying, you shouldn't sponsor this person because they don't like Tifa, or they don't like Aerith, or they don't, because of a character, or because I said that something about the plot.
Because you had an opinion. Because
I had an opinion that did not go with the general consensus, or what they thought should be the general consensus. It went from, oh great, Soldier 1stClass, let's watch another video, to, hey, Soldier 1stClass, let's ruin his life, because that's the fun thing to do today. And I'm just using myself as an example, and because I don't like to speak for other creators, but I feel like that's where the shift started to happen. And Yunalescka has been a part of it. Now we're seeing like people like Aru are getting attacked. Night Sky Prince, obviously, when I was getting attacked, was also getting attacked. And it seems like anybody that has gone against what the general consensus is has been receiving these threats, getting phone calls to their work, having to call the cops on these people, getting told to, trigger warning, to kill yourself because you didn't like a certain part of a video game. So,
and I think that's the worst part, is there's actually people that are saying you need to go kill yourself.
And the thing is,
it's not just you guys. I mean, it's not, I mean, because, you know, Yunalescka, I've seen some of the screenshots you've posted as of late on some of the toxicity, and
that was tame.
It's
that was tame shit,
tame.
dude.
Wow.
That was tame.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think honestly, like, to Bahamut Lenhart, in the chat was saying, he's like, I love the changes, but if others can't just tear them down, which is correct. But that's the problem is we're seeing people tearing each other down because, I mean, frankly,
the biggest problem with it too is that 7 is so coveted, but it's not just coveted, it's also the most commercialized for Square Enix. So most people identify with it and then go back to it and get pissed off that they changed it. I mean, these things happen. It's the same thing with a movie, and it's unfortunate, and it shouldn't be that toxic. And I like when I first heard about it about you, Soldier Man, it sucks. Because I mean, we love the characters, we love the game, but if they're going to be that toxic,
well,
you
thing
made the
is
right
like,
choice. Yeah.
I mean, and my thing is like, and by the way, Yunalescka, I want to say that like the fact that you went from HOTS to Final Fantasy, that transition that you made is kind of actually an inspiration because you were able to do it and just follow your passion, and that's like something that I'm trying to do currently. So that's kind of like an inspiration on my end of things. So I appreciate it,
dude.
By the way.
You got this, man.
Also, like, so, and I hate using this as a crutch because obviously there's a lot of people with a lot of problems out there. This stuff, like, I've already possibly said on the podcast before that I have had bouts with depression and everything else my entire life. And
Not
content
alone,
creation
not
was
alone.
one of those things that, unfortunately, if you are suffering from things like that, these comments that, go
Doesn't
kill
help.
yourself. Yeah, it doesn't help at all. Like, go kill yourself. We're going to get you fired from your real job. We're going to find where you live. Shit like that. The unacceptable stuff, like that just drives you farther and farther down. And like the reason like people, me and Soldier and Night Sky Prince and a few others that have stopped doing the content on it, this is a big reason why. And I think right now shining a light on that is exactly what we need to do because it's getting awful and it's getting worse every day.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not gonna get better until remake is like completely finished.
Completely done. Yeah. I mean, like
I agree.
I've just honestly, I feel that it's just that divide because Final Fantasy VII was so like, it was the flagship game for PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
It was the pioneer into like all those blockiness and seeing an RPG in this whole different world that, I mean, I feel that all of us have this like connection to that game 20 years ago. Almost. Like,
that's why I kind of understand. That was my first RPG. That was the first one I ever played.
And now that we see this like remake, this whole new idea, then we like, oh, we know exactly what's going to happen and we expect it to happen. And then when we don't expect it to happen, everyone's like, oh no, like, do the old school purists say, oh, this is terrible now? Or the new people are like, this is the greatest game ever because it's like so open-ended. Like there's just, I mean, I don't want to jump back into the FF7R conversation again, but I mean, I know Square Enix has a plan. I stick by Square Enix like 100%. We'll always be a Final Fantasy fan. We'll always be like whatever Square Enix and Atlas. Hire me, please. if they ever have anything, I will be
Jason,
right on there.
If you were actually able to make the podcast last week,
I had work. I had to work.
We actually were talking directly.
So sad.
Yeah. We got some.
I mean, for me,
some really good stories too, man. It was pretty cool.
I'll always be like 90% Square Enix, but that's only because they're not giving me a Chrono Trigger remaster.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, and if you're gonna go make Final Fantasy Tactics remastered in, AKA Octopath Traveler Tactics, give me Chrono Trigger. Give me Chrono Trigger.
It's not the same, but Triangle Strategy is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I've been playing the demo, and it is.
It's fantastic.
It is really, really good.
And this is really the problem that we have with those, Jason, as you put it, purists. And it's these people who aren't listening because really Square Enix put it on the box. Final Fantasy remake. It's not a reboot. So
It's not
therefore,
a remaster.
it was
remaster or
gonna
anything,
yeah.
something was gonna change.
Mhm.
Now deal with it. I did. Everybody else did. And now we're interested. Okay, so what direction are they going?
Yeah.
Same thing with a movie. If it gets a reboot or remake, there's a
Yeah.
difference.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely. Like I agree. Like I love 98% of that game, and then it was just like, you know what, I
That's
have
most
to
of the
wait.
game. Like,
Yeah,
so really,
exactly.
yeah.
I love it, but you just have to wait. You know, it's going from disc 1 to disc 2. You just got to wait it out a little.
Well, and I think the other thing is too is that it feels like everybody in the fandom started at a different point, and because of
Yeah.
the compilation that it's made that possible. So everybody kind of has their own idea of what Final Fantasy VII should be. And so I think a lot of times we say that like headcanon is a very powerful thing. So if you started with Final Fantasy VII in 97, your opinion of certain compilation works might be different. Whereas if you started with like Crisis Core, maybe you have a different view because you never played the original 7
Yeah.
or something like that. So I think like, and Kingdom Hearts got a lot of people to see who
Yes.
Cloud and Aerith and all these characters are. So they had an idea in their head already of what these characters should do. So I think that's where a lot of the conflict is coming from too, is because like I kind of see myself in the middle. I liked part of the compilation. I didn't like other parts, but I started with the game in 1997, and I kind of have like an open view of the whole thing, as a lot of us do here. But then I have to look at it from the perspective of somebody that started with Advent Children and what they think Final Fantasy VII is. So I think you have all these different collective people that are trying to put a label on Final Fantasy VII, and it's hard to do because there's so many different things to it.
That goes back to my point of it being overly commercialized, because Sephiroth was a secret boss in Kingdom Hearts, and he was a boss in another one. You know, this is what a lot of the people are.
I mean, they put
Like
Cloud and
resorting- yeah.
Sephiroth into Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, to
they're
that very-
amiibos.
that
Yeah,
point,
they're
you
kept. Those are characters that are kept alive to keep reminding people of this one game, and just now there's a change. Well, so was Advent Children. Advent Children was technically a different timeline.
I feel like
So, yeah.
I feel like people aren't like, I know people are going to be disappointed with the, you know, there's some people that are disappointed with the remake because of like the changes and stuff. But I feel like the bigger problem is people being obsessed with the fictional characters and bullying people over them. Like these people, these fictional characters aren't even real. They're not like human form like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't have feelings. The people that have feelings are us, the content creators, and Square Enix, and anyone that's worked on these games. You know what I mean? So people being obsessed for, I don't know how long, 20 years, whatever, over these fictional characters, bullying people. It like my part where I got bullied. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I'll try and make it short. Is that I saw a picture of Aerith and Cloud, a fan art on Twitter, and I loved it. I thought it was really pretty and whatever. So I was like, wow, I don't know who retweeted it. I just commented on it and I said, wow, this is a really pretty picture of Cloud and Aerith. Like, it's gorgeous. And then I said, and I like Zack and Aerith together too. Like, it wasn't anything negative. It was just like I like Zack and Aerith because I finished Crisis Core and I saw their connection together and I was like, wow, they're really cute too. Like, I'm not picky with who is gonna be with who. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. Like, I love all the characters equally. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got bullied and harassed so hard because people were like, you're not supposed to say that under an art piece. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I wasn't saying anything negative. And they're like, the rule is this, the rule is that. And I'm like, what rules? Like,
it's your opinion.
Yeah, we
yeah,
need
there
to
is you're entitled to have an opinion.
We need to get rid of
Opinion
those
is
unwritten
correct,
rules.
Technically,
it's so dumb.
There's
and
no one
like,
opinion.
I have artist friends that appreciate other opinions. Like they draw pictures of Tifa on Cloud, and I'm like, wow, that's so cute. And people are like giving opinions, and they don't care. They don't care because they understand it's an opinion. But then you get all these people harassing you for saying the word Zack. Okay. And then they went after my sponsor. They tried calling my sponsors, Square Enix, and my other sponsors. They tried to email them. They tried to get my address. They tried to get my phone number. They tried to get all this personal information about me to try and ruin my life because I mentioned the word
Really?
Zach under an art
Mhm.
piece.
I feel you. They were trying to screenshot stuff that I said in high school
What?
11 years
High
ago.
school?
Yeah, me
Oh
and
my
Night Sky
God,
Prince
dang.
were getting
Was
stuff
Twitter
that were
still around? That was
Yeah.
Twitter around
Oh
back
my
then.
God.
well, it was like Facebook
Um,
stuff.
Yeah.
And like people were
MySpace.
screenshotting stuff and emailing people, and like it's ridiculous. We need to get rid of these unwritten rules about the fandom. Like,
Like there are no rules. Like you want to
Yeah.
be nice about an art piece. You know, there's rules, okay? Like I have a friend, I don't know if she's in chat, she's an artist, and she explained to me like you just want to be nice and you don't want to say anything negative about it. But
Right.
no, I didn't say anything negative. I just said the word Zach. And what you're gonna call Square Enix? Hey, your sponsor, Yunalescka, said the word Zach under an art piece. Like, really?
And
Are
then
you
Square
actually gonna
Enix
do
is
that?
Square Enix just go, hey
Okay.
guys, that's one of our characters.
Yeah.
It's in the game. So yes, thank you.
Yeah,
You
no
know?
kidding.
Cool.
what I love is that
Um,
these people get so mad. Like, they get mad for the artist, and the artist is just like, thank you, you know, but
Yeah.
Mm.
they get mad for the artist.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even, it doesn't even have to be that. Like, just
Right.
chill.
Yeah. I even apologized to the artist because I was like, I'm sorry for mentioning the word Zach. And she was like, okay, that's fine. But I still got bullied for like a month after
Mhm.
that. That was like part one. There's many parts where it like brought up again and I got harassed. I got like
Mm.
freaking pictures, really nasty pictures sent to my Etsy shop email for like how long? You know, dick
Wow.
pics or whatever. Sorry, I don't want to say that. And I'm just like, why are you doing this? Over fictional characters? Are you freaking kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, are you
I
that
think that-
immature?
And I think that's the bigger problem too, is in general too, is that you talk about gatekeeping, right? Is
Yeah.
the Star Wars fan base has become that bad
I think it's
because
any
someone
fan
mentioned,
base.
you know,
Even if you
Marvel,
go beyond
it's-
video games, movies, go into sports. Sports is
I
just
feel
as
like
toxic.
I feel like with Twitter and any platform that you
Keyboard
can,
warriors.
Yeah.
yeah, any platform that you can create multiple accounts, it's just their way of trying to make somebody else miserable because
They have
they
so
are.
many
It's just-
accounts.
Yeah, and the
it's
thing
just
is, they like,
ridiculous, man.
It's
they
like 5
tweet each
people.
other, they retweet each other, like
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
the same, like,
And they
different
post
groups.
screenshots of what you said, and then they start making fun of it. And they're like, look what this person said. This Yunalescka or Aru, anyone. Like, look what they said. And they're just like, oh, wow, she's so racist. And I've been called
I wanna-
racist. How?
and I want to support, like, so we've got Kyle Driver in chat. Okay, amazing guy. I follow him on TikTok and everything like that. Great guy. And it's the same thing with COD too. Like, the COD population is starting to gaslight anybody that says COD is bad and they're moving to Apex Legends. Okay, you know, granted, nobody has said anything to us, you know, about us, the fact that we've ditched COD and moved over to Apex Legends. But it's gotten so bad with the toxicity. You say anything bad about COD, which frankly, there's problems. Jerry, Theo, myself, we can all talk about how, you know, the game is broken. You know, there's so many aimbot problems and stuff going on in there that it is actually not fun. And the fact is that
So many things that are being
now-
allowed that
Yeah.
they just couldn't care less.
They
They,
don't
have
care.
a money machine. They just take their time to
So-
try and fix problems.
you know, and I want to thank Kyle, and, you know, specifically because seeing him switching over to Apex Legends and watching a little bit of his content was like, you know what, that looks like a lot of fun. It's
Mhm.
free. Let's try it.
Mhm.
And honestly, it's
It's
something
fun.
we're playing like every night. We're having a
Yeah,
blast with it.
it's
And
fun.
frankly, we're getting our butts kicked. So, but it is one of those things that it's like, it's like that cancel culture, right? It's like they went after Eminem.
Mhm.
And they chose this song that is about bringing awareness to domestic violence.
Mhm.
And I get that, you know, some things that there's some people that are really saying some really, really horrible things out there. And yes, some of those people deserve to kind of be canceled in certain ways. But, you know, when it comes to like having an opinion about something like COD, like Final Fantasy, like all of that, I think that's what it needs to be, just opinions. We don't have to agree.
Yeah.
Just like it's going back to the whole console war BS again, that all the big
It's
content creators
all
out there,
not real. Like,
we're trying to stop.
don't take it so
Exactly.
we don't
seriously.
care, you know.
It's
I think-
not real.
I think what I would love to encourage people to do, because I know a lot of people don't do this. Go to your favorite content creator. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's Yuna, Night Sky Prince, any of your favorite YouTubers. Doesn't even have to be Final Fantasy. Read their comment section, because they tell you don't read them, like for the creator not to read them.
Right.
But I have access to on my phone. I have a creator app, and I can see every single comment I get, and I read every single one. Now, as a creative person, we take things personally that we probably shouldn't, but we do anyway, because it's just how we are.
But at the same time, you're putting a ton amount of work into what you're doing.
So
I mean,
and I also do want to get that feedback from my community.
Yeah.
So I read my comments. The problem is that a lot of people will watch the video, comment, and then walk away. And so when you bring up things like this, the toxicity and stuff like that, they're like, well, I've never seen it. I encourage you to please go look at comment sections, go look at Twitter threads, go look at social media platforms, look at this stuff and see what is going on, because the only way to stop this, the only way to bring awareness to it, is if we're not the only ones calling it out. We, as a community, I think we have to come together, and we have to make that change ourselves, because if you keep allowing these people to do it, they're going to become the voice of the community, and we don't want that. So please, I encourage you, read your favorite content creators' comments section, because it will be very enlightening.
Yeah, because that makes sense, because like most of the people that are going to be in those comment sections are either the people that are saying those things or egging those people's on. And it's
And for
not
them
going to
to-
be the people that are against it, because they're avoiding the comments. They're not participating in the comments or anything like that. And so the people that are writing this toxic stuff are being fed, and they're eating it up. So they're going to continue to do it.
And if
that's
you
like-
guys don't at least like open up from reading the relentless comments that someone has to deal with like on a daily or whenever they post basis, try and imagine that and put yourself in those shoes, that people have to deal with that every time, and try and brush it off.
So a moment of vulnerability here for anybody. When I was still uploading remake content, I used to physically cringe whenever I would see a Final Fantasy VII remake profile picture, because I was so stressed out about it that I thought anybody that had a profile picture with that on it was going to be spewing something toxic.
I agree to that.
So
I
mean,
that's not right.
I mean,
That's not right.
and that's, you know how horrible that is for a Final Fantasy VII content creator to have to sit there and every time you see a picture of Cloud or Tifa, you're just like, I need to read it.
Fear, or you're associating fear with the game.
Exactly.
That you love. And it's horrible.
I just don't.
That's not right. You don't love what you're doing automatically.
Yeah.
You're not loving what you're doing, and that's not right. It sucks.
I just don't understand how people are so obsessed over this shit. Like bullying and harassing, sending death threats, and doing all these horrible things over characters that aren't even like real life, first of all. Second of all, there's no official like relationship, like that type of relationship in the game. Like, of course, there's like little hints here and there and stuff. Like, where is it official where Aerith and Cloud are together? Where is it official that Tifa and Cloud are together? Where is it official? You know, the only thing I saw was Zack and Aerith in Crisis Core, where they showed like, you know, more love for each other. But still, like, I don't care about that stuff. Like, I love Final Fantasy so much to the point where I just accept any type of content that there is. So if you really loved Final Fantasy VII, you wouldn't go and bully people over this. You know what I mean? Like, you just accept the opinions and not be obsessed.
To that point, right? People were even being toxic about how Barrett is portrayed. More so specifically, they were even targeting how his voice was inflicted. And it's like, that character, I mean, when you actually see how they fleshed things out and how the lines were written, he cares about Marlene, even though Marlene's not really his daughter. And it's like, especially when you know the man behind the voice, like we do,
Uncle John,
you know,
Uncle John,
and
John.
you know his passion for that character specifically. It's like, guys, we got to stop gaslighting. And that kind of leads me to, my next question on this is that what can the fandom do better to help stop the toxicity? I know people have talked about, hey, they report people for the harassment, stuff like that, but I think it needs to go beyond kind of like that. What can the fandom do?
Well, I try to stand up as much as I can. Like every time I stood up for someone like Aru or like any other person that got like harassed, Night Sky Prince, like Zell, like there's a bunch of people, Soldier, like there's people that I just saw were getting hurt and stuff over all this. So I always stood up to it on Twitter, and then I get harassed for it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm trying my best to like make this shit like more aware to people. But instead they screenshot everything and then they harass me more or bully more, whatever. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And I don't want to make my Twitter be annoyed, like for people like, oh, look, she's talking about Final Fantasy VII bullying again. Like, okay, so I'm just like, you know what? Ignore it, I guess, for now. But then at the same time, I'm like, I hate ignoring it. I like standing up to all this stuff and like making it more aware for people.
Right.
But like,
you're getting shut down. Your voice is being quieted that way.
Yeah, and I don't like that. And then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to make more of a scene for people. Like, I don't want to be that person that like is, on Twitter talking about all this stuff, and I don't know. I don't know what else to do here. Like, just
well, it's frustrating because like personally, you try to tell people, hey, I'm just not talking about that stuff anymore because, it brings me great stress. And then they're like, well, you should come back. And it's like, do you want me to come back because you want to hear my opinion, or do you want me to come back because you want to harass me some more? Like, is that what you want? Because it just feels like, and I also think that when we do bring up what's going on, like on Twitter or whatever, and like saying, hey, enough's enough, I'm tired of this bullying needs to stop, then people will say, well, you need to stop talking about it because it's making us look bad. You're making the fan base look bad. If people think that we're this bad, then they're not going to want to be a part of the fan base. And I'm like, do you blame them? Because I don't. Like, this the reason it's being talked about is because it's happening. Where you're trying to blame the victim for being victimized, and it doesn't make sense to me. You would think that those people would say, oh, you're getting harassed, well, let us find those people and weed them out of the fan base. But instead it's all about quieting us and what we're saying, because it shines a bad light on the community.
And I think like Strifers, I'm gonna call out Strifers, friend of the podcast, we've had her on, said people need to chill out and find something better to do. It's a waste of energy and destroys the game for people. And I think that's just in general, she points out, I would love for you, Soldier, to come back because I generally feel like you respect the game as it is, but I respect why you left. We all do.
Right.
And
definitely. And
I think that as content creators in whatever space we're in, whether it's podcasting, you guys in Final Fantasy, Star Wars, whatever it is, right, is that I think we have a bigger responsibility to just stand up against things, right? Do you know many times when we were facing a lot of the protests here in the US over the summer with Black Lives Matter? We were ardent supporters of it. I had people tweet at me, stay in my lane. Because they don't think that, like, for podcasters, Danny Pena, Cleef Adams, Paris Lee, even Greg Miller and stuff, everybody was just saying, we're all content creators. We do podcasting, we talk games. That's all we should ever do. We shouldn't talk politics. We shouldn't talk about the human condition. And frankly, isn't all what we do is to help and better the human condition, and bring some joy to people's lives? Like we all talked about at the top of the podcast. Yeah. Would we like to have subs to our channels? Sure. Great. But that's not what our end game is with our channels. We're just here to give something for some people to enjoy, to escape their lives. For us having listeners around the world, when I started seeing that, I'm like, wow, we're giving people that are in other countries, that are in other situations that could be much, much worse than what we have in the States. We're giving them escape, whether it was for one episode or they're following us the whole time. It's an escape. And it gives them something to potentially laugh at. And it's just, we need to just stand up against the hate. And honestly, it's like you look at with the attacks against the Asian community over the last couple of weeks, and it's escalated since the attacks in Atlanta. We're seeing these, punch challenge stuff popping up on all the social media where, you know, they're actually, some people are taking joy in watching these attacks. And I think that is horrible. And I think we need
God.
to stop that. And, you know, it to me, it's like, this is what we need to do. We need to stand up. And we need to shine a light on a lot of the communities that aren't having the light shown on them, because frankly, you see a lot of these attacks for the Final Fantasy community on Twitter. And it's just like, you know, I would love Square Enix to just jump in and say, hey, guys, chill out. Everybody can have their opinions. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
You know,
I wish
right.
something
We're not
like
gonna
that
love
would
everyone.
happen.
And I don't
And
think it has to purely be to stand up, because I mean, not everybody is willing to put out their voice, but support those that are sharing your opinion against the hates. Like it's not so hard to be all like, yes, that's exactly what should be going on or whatever, because you might not have the words to say it as profound as anybody else. Because like if for like the Asian community, if they don't have if only the Asians are having a voice and they have no support, it's going to get quieted down. Bullying, whenever anybody stands up and they get shut down, that's why they're not going to come back up. They need that additional support behind them to make sure that they're raising their voice and standing up for those that need it.
Well, and
Yeah.
I
I
think
agree.
too
Definitely.
that bigger content creators, even in our situation, need to speak up too, because if it's just us down here, and you've got people that got 10 million subscribers, and let's say they're covering Apex Legends, and there's a really bad toxicity. I'm just using this as an example, just to clarify, but there's a big toxicity problem. And then you've got this guy with 10 million subscribers who could sit there and tell these people, like, chill out. It's a game, have fun.
Yeah.
But it feels like the bigger content creators tend to just ignore what's going on
Ignore
below
it.
And
them
avoid the situation.
and avoid
yeah.
the situation, because they don't want to put their voice out there one way or another. And to those people also that are telling people to quiet down because they don't want to hear politics from a gaming channel, guess what? If you don't want to hear politics, you probably haven't been paying attention to the games that you're playing.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
Yeah.
to what you just said,
Yeah.
Soldier, it's like you probably haven't been paying attention to Final Fantasy, because Bahamut brings up a very, very good point, and led right into what you were saying, is that Final Fantasy has always been about friendships and standing against the villains who would do the planet, you know, and Crystal's harm. So it's like, it's the same type of thing. You look at what Shinra was. I mean, that's very, very much a very political statement, you know, and how you know how they were. So
Final Fantasy VII is very much a political statement. Like,
Yeah.
look at the entire
Agree.
game
You're literally part of a resistance.
yeah,
against
But I
a
think-
mega corporation.
But I think that all hits on everyone here has been using the same word that I think needs to be addressed and more taken more seriously. Community, streaming community, gaming community. We need to start acting like it. And in a community, all of us need to come together. And I think it shouldn't just be on just who's the top tier. I think what you guys are doing is right. Like that's the struggle. You got to keep the fight, but keep fighting them. And everybody else needs to start joining, because this is a community and we need to watch each other's backs.
So I have a question for everybody, but more for Soldier and Yunalescka, whether or not you see it with other content creators and streamers. But do you feel like that there are particular streamers or content creators out there that end up being so uncomfortable with the toxic stuff that they're seeing in their community that they kind of laugh it off, make it a joke, and essentially make it okay in their community?
Oh, 100%. I think 100% you have creators that do that. And I also think there are creators that actually kind of
Don't give a fuck.
well, not even that, but just
Or even egg it on and, and promote it?
They egg it on.
They
They're
want
like,
to kind of
"Oh,
perpetuate it.
Did you hear that Soldier 1stClass and Yunalescka think this certain thing?
Soldier doesn't
you
even
know?
have to name names, and I know who exactly you were just talking about, because we've talked behind, you know, off show and whatnot, about things going on. I mean, and that's the one thing is, I think, you know, nice thing is like Soldier and I will God, I've been your venting post for a while now. Sometimes when you just need it, and it's, you know, that's what it's all about, is being there for our friends and stuff like that. So
Matt's
You know,
who I
I
sent. Matt's who I sent screenshots to like all the
Yes.
time. So Matt is very well versed in the harassment we've received.
Yeah, and it's it does need to end. I mean, I think all of us, you know, it's been said in the chat a couple of times, is I think in general, more so than, you know, especially the Final Fantasy community, but I think in general we just all need to rise above.
Yeah,
it's time
Yeah.
we start propping up everybody and supporting everybody, and basically taking all this negativity and driving it out.
Yeah, and definitely just
And-
respect other people's opinions, man. Like I feel that's what's been so much of the problem. Where it's
they're
just
not
like,
gonna
dude,
understand, dude.
Yeah.
They're
just like,
fucked
come
up,
on, like
man.
all 6 of
Sorry.
us in this Zoom chat right now are in 6 different locations, you know, and there's no way in heck that all of us are gonna have the same like exact upbringing, same exact thought process,
Yeah.
you know, and just accept that opinion. I mean, like, there's no way, and just it's too much. It's too much. I can't. It gets so infuriating about that.
Well, and the thing is, they drive people to like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I have been the cleanest speaking person in the world when
Same.
it comes to the situation, because I've said some things that I'm not proud of. But you know what? That's what happens with these people. They drive you to these lengths where you just start spouting stuff that you may not even mean, because you're just so frustrated with it that you can't take it anymore.
And the sixth thing is that they take pleasure out of it.
Yeah, and then you see the post, oh man, Soldier First Class has lost his mind.
Yep.
That was a long time ago, but you know my point.
And,
Yeah, it's
you know,
really dumb.
And that's the thing, guys, is like, here's my whole thing is when we talk about community and standing up against bullying and stuff like that, is that, you know, yes, there may be people out there that may be part of the fandom that don't see this. They only see the positive. They never see any of the negative stuff. And a lot of it could be because how you have your Twitter feed curated, you know, and stuff like that. So you don't actually see it, or you don't go into the comment sections of videos and stuff like that and take a look at them. Because, you know, frankly, if you were to dive into kind of what Yunalescka was talking about, because I actually, when you posted those screenshots of the Twitter thread, I actually went and looked at that thread. Man,
Dude,
that was
disgusting.
bad.
There's
It was bad. So
like, I have a lot that I haven't shown. Sorry, go on.
You know, for me though, is like, I look at it this way, is as a community, yeah, people may not see this, but it's there, and it deserves to have a light shine on this. And you know, I think we will always, regardless, you know, the top, like Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate, all that stuff, we will always speak out in support of those causes, especially anti-bullying. You know, to Soldier's point, right? Some of this toxicity has driven people to massive depression, massive anxiety, wanting to quit making content. So regardless if you see it or not, you know, it's there. And even if it's happening to a dozen people and they're the targets, that's a dozen people that doesn't need to have it happen to them, period. And we will always support it.
That's what I've been doing, though. I've been standing up for people. And the thing is, though, I've done it so much where I just feel so drained that it starts to get to me. And I'm just like, I'm helping all these people. And then I'm the one that's getting targeted because I'm helping them, because this person's getting a death threat. So I'm standing up to it and being like, what the fuck? Why is this person getting a death threat? And then I get harassed and bullied and get screenshots and all this stuff. Like, I don't care. But I'm just like what's the point of all this? Why?
But that like gives a good example for my statement with like, you need support, because like I'm sure you feel frustrated with standing up because you feel you probably feel like you're standing up alone, that nobody else is also helping you.
It feels like you're on an entire
you're on your island alone, just screaming your lungs out, whereas just a few other voices could really help lighten the load.
Like, I'm so tired of people being like, ignore it. Like, I know, ignore it. I'm not going to give them any attention, but I want people in my community to see what I'm going through, and on Twitter and social media. I'm not talking like, you know, to the bullies. I'm talking to everyone else that can like see what I'm going through. And it's just ridiculous. Like, Aru is like my little sister. She's amazing. And what she went through as an example, like
the fact they went for her.
So they're bored with me. This is what I'm thinking, because I didn't give any attention to them anymore. So I felt like all of them were harassing me at one point. And then I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about you guys. I'm not going to talk to you. And then they saw a clip of Aru. Okay. So when I get frustrated, sometimes I say things that I don't mean. So they clipped this one part of Aru's Final Fantasy VII remake, and she's like, I hate you, Tifa, or like, I hate Tifa, or like, why are you so dumb? In a situation where she felt frustrated. Like I've said, dumb things about favorite characters of mine.
Yep.
You know what I
think
mean?
we
Like,
all
what
have.
the fuck? We all have.
The standard
have.
gamer shouts
Yeah.
while you're like
Okay.
struggling in the game.
If it's not the controller, it's definitely like just,
Do you
Or
know
it
how
is the
many
controller and
times-
you're just blaming the controller. Like, come on.
Do you know how many times, like with Nathan Drake, everybody knows Uncharted is my series that I love. Do you know how many times I've
one of
gone,
yours. It's
you effing idiot.
Yeah.
But it's more the person controlling the controller that made a mistake.
Exactly.
And I jumped off a ledge instead of trying to grab onto it. And you follow your death and whatnot. It happens, and it should never be taken to that context. Now,
And they took it seriously and they clipped it.
Yep.
So then they made a big deal, and then they started harassing her and body shaming her because she cosplayed as Tifa, and she got harassed for that and all these mean things. So now she's pressing charges. Like she's
Good for
going
her.
full force.
good.
She's tired of all that shit, and I'm like, you know what, girl? I'm so proud of you to stand up with me, because
Yeah,
I see some of these other people who are, not saying anything. Like they're just quiet, and I'm like, what, are you scared of getting targeted by these people who have like 30 accounts or 40 accounts, and it's seriously like 5 people in total who have all these fake accounts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
To her point, I've literally seen screenshots where people have done email checks on all of these different accounts, and they're literally linked to the same email on Twitter.
Yes, it's like, what
that's
the
ridiculous.
hell? You got
Yeah,
problems,
that's
man.
insane.
Because Twitter allows you to, I don't know what the deal is, but they allow you to make like so many different accounts with the same email.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows these people to, and it's as easy as getting on your phone and going to Twitter, and literally I think you can hold down on the home button. Yeah, you hold down on the home button and it pops up your accounts.
Yeah.
And people can have as many as they want.
Lots of accounts.
Copy paste, just copy paste. My goodness.
And you know what's weird is that some of these people, it's like one person talking to themselves. Like they would have an account, they would say something mean, and then they would switch to their other account.
Oh
and
my
pretend,
goodness.
Aru told me about this. I think it was Aru. She told me
I've
about
seen
this.
it.
And they figured it out. And they're just like, this person has 2 accounts, but they're pretending to be, or sorry, yeah, they have 2
Supporting
accounts, but it's
himself.
one
What?
person. Yeah. It's so messed
Egging
up,
himself
man.
That
on.
is so ridiculous.
And
They're
then you
going
get,
by a script.
you
They're
get these-
literally copy and pasting their own version of a
Because
conversation
they're
script.
trying to paint certain people or certain
Right.
parts of the fandom in a bad light to get people
Right.
to hate them.
Right.
Like you see it with the shippers. Right now you've got like, you'll have an let's say an Aerith account will get into it with a Tifa account that they run.
Yeah.
So that they can say, look what the Tifa fandom does.
Yeah.
And it's the other way around. It's, you got a Tifa person making an Aerith account and getting into an argument with themselves and then saying, look what this Aerith account's doing. The Aerith fandom's so bad. And then it's all fabricated. Just like
Right.
some of the stuff that they say about us. Like they called Night Sky Prince being racist for saying something.
Yep.
And he's black. And they're like, well, he said something. I don't even remember what he said, but they screenshot it and they're like, he's racist against black people. He's black.
Yep. They call me 40. They
Um,
call me 40-year-old white woman, and I'm like, I'm not even white. I'm Armenian, first of all. I'm not even 40 yet. And they're like, the 40-year-old white girl is at it again, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
that must be me. Thanks.
So
I
Let's-
get that all the time too. So I
Like,
But
Yeah.
you get the 40-year-old white
I
lady.
think the
all time?
comment
Are
in chat
you-
was perfect.
why? Why?
I mean,
I just want to say one more thing.
It was probably
before-
when he
I
shaved
think-
his
I
beard.
think Matt's trying to say something, but
wanna-
like, I just
yeah.
want to say the
Oh.
biggest, like nastiest thing I've seen is when people are on Twitter and their title in their stream is anti-Tifa, anti-Aerith. I will, they'll say something mean to you if you talk about this character at all, like on their page. And it's just like, are you fucking ridiculous? Like, why would you even put that in your title? You know, that's
Oh,
going to
man.
cause fights. That's going to cause
definitely.
more bullying and
so
and it.
you know what I've done on Twitter, and it has drastically improved my mood on Twitter. I've muted literally everything.
Yeah. Oh.
Good.
Literally I've muted
Yeah.
like Tifa, Aerith, Final Fantasy 7, and like when the Final Fantasy 7 stuff that does leak through onto my timeline comes along, it's
Mhm.
really wholesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Because the people that are doing the harassing are somehow using the keywords that I have put in mute.
Yeah.
And all of
Yeah.
everything I'm seeing now, Final Fantasy 7 wise, is pretty positive. So
Mhm.
there is ways of posting positive things and still having it
Yeah.
reach the people that want to see it positively.
You
So-
know, it really made me sad when you stopped your content stuff. Like, I remember I talked to you, Soldier, during, I don't even know when it was. And I was like, well, dude, why are you like scared of these people? Like, they're just fucking keyboard warriors. And it really made me sad when you stopped doing your FF7 content. Cause literally, I think you were the biggest one that always had like Final Fantasy 7 content like uploaded all the time. And then when I heard with what was happening to you, it pissed me off so much. And I'm just like, please don't, like, I know it's hard. And I just keep telling people that these are just like 30-year-olds or 20-year-olds and like acting like kids. And, you know, they're trying to scare you, but, you know, just don't take it serious because they can't do anything to you. Like, they're going to say all these mean things, but I know it's hard mentally, so I understand like your situation. So it just made me sad.
I think my biggest thing is like I have a full-time job and stuff, and if these people got a hold of my work or got a hold of like my phone number or anything like that, or tried to act like me in some capacity, that like I could possibly lose that. And content creation is not my full-time job.
Yeah. Yep.
So I kind of need that job.
I understand.
So,
You know,
on the content creation side, it's a good time to segue, I think. Comic-Con's supposed to be coming back in Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes, their small event.
Ooh.
Where?
Oh,
Because it's not San Diego.
No. Well, it's in the area, isn't it?
oh, it's going to be
It's a different venue.
It is going to be in person, live event. And they have basically said they will kind of keep guidelines in play for the, you know, how the state's doing. But honestly, I think this is you're making
Too
people
soon.
choose between a convention and spending time with their family that we all haven't done in well over a year now. So
not even that. It's a convention. You know, there's going to be like
okay, we all know
it's going to be so spread out.
Yeah.
And like you have to go through a line, and it's like, okay, everybody gets to see one vendor at a time, and like
so
marching a line. It's just like
comment in chat. E3 did come out with a tweet a couple hours ago and said it is going to be completely free to watch and everything like that. I know there was rumors that they were going to try and put it behind a paywall for some things, but they've actually come out and they've clarified that. They're going to be coming out with a statement here soon about how everything's going to look. Oh no, you're perfectly fine. I actually follow the E3 Twitter account because honestly, I got to keep up to date for us too as well, because you know, as soon as that becomes a live convention again,
we're going.
Hopefully we'll be getting our media passes again.
We're going.
So speaking of, hey,
otherwise I'm still going as a bank.
Soldier was already Soldier. You were already included. That's when I said we're going.
We're going. So along the Final Fantasy realm, so the former Final Fantasy team that went and started Mistwalker Studios has come out and said that they're also not going to be remastering Lost Odyssey, which I think is bad.
That's
because
sad.
that is a great game that I think people on PlayStation and stuff should experience. Thankfully, it's still backwards compatible on Xbox, so people can still play that game. It is a fantastic game. Oh god, he's breaking into it.
Is he getting it?
He's got a flex.
He's got a close.
He's got a flex.
flex.
Nice.
And I'm not saying a remake.
man.
I wanted just a remaster.
Oh, look
Just
at that!
update the graphics and everything. Keep the
360
story
bucks.
intact how it is, because it was a fantastic story. And along the lines of kind of like remasters and everything like that, a couple weeks ago, it was announced that Ninja Gaiden Collection was coming out. Another Mistwalker Studios game, Blue Dragon.
I like Sakaguchi, if you couldn't tell.
So
No, never.
okay, Bahamut, I'm going to call you out. Do not get Yunalescka started on the Legend of Dragoon remaster because she's already posted about it today.
Dude,
Oh
my
no way!
chat
Are you a
today?
fan
I
too?
would be so
Dude, I
down.
love
for
Legend of Dragon,
I
but every
love
year,
Legends of Dragoon.
I
You're
can
wrong.
admit-
You're wrong
Last
for that. You're wrong for that. You know.
Oh man,
So
that
I
was
can
my
admit,
second RPG.
I've
I
never played
loved
the
that
game. I asked Jerry's opinion on it just the other day, right after the news of PlayStation broke that
Yeah.
should I get it? He said yes. So
Yes.
Oh, it's
Yes,
badass.
I picked it up.
I
It is
love that
downloaded.
game.
It is downloaded onto my Vita now, so I'm able to play it. So
Good. It's
but-
like a thing. I did it last year as like an April Fool's thing, and I did it this year, and I got like I was laughing my ass off because some people
Some
believed
of those
it.
comments.
Obviously, some people were like, "Really, really, is this real?" And I'm like,
Oh my god.
So,
"I'm sorry." I
but
just anyway.
It needs.
anyways, with the Ninja Gaiden though, Clutch coming out, it has Team Ninja finally admitted why Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 won't be part of that.
Mm.
It's because they lost the code. The
All right.
code to
Big whoop.
Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 are gold.
Oh.
I'm not buying those games.
So,
You want to talk about
um,
frustration? You want to talk about
yeah,
frustration? I hated those games.
Let me say.
God, did I hate
I mean,
those
you
games.
gave up on Sekiro. I would imagine you
I didn't give
on
up.
Ninja Gaiden.
I'm on a hiatus.
Whatever, dude.
Uh-huh.
Whatever.
Like Hunter x
How
Hunter?
long? I gave
Forever?
I am seriously. I look at it every time I start on my PlayStation, and I'm like, no, just no.
Right? Right.
Just no.
I still haven't loaded,
yeah.
dude. Me too. And I can't. I look at it and I can't take the pain. I can't take it.
So
It's too frustrating.
on the Nintendo front today, talking about lost games and stuff like that, the Super Mario 3D collection, we've lost some
Yeah.
games in the
Mm.
world.
That was sad.
Yeah. So basically, for those that don't know, the end of March marked the end of the Super Mario 3D collection. So if you hadn't already bought it by that time,
Oh yeah.
True.
through the eShop, if you had download codes that you had bought or been given, if you didn't already redeem them, or you haven't been able to find it physically at a GameStop somewhere, the game is lost.
Yeah.
It has gone back into the vault. Who knows?
Boom. Got
Didn't
it.
they say that along the release announcement as well, that they gave a heads up that was
Yeah.
going to
Oh,
go away?
they
after a
did.
while?
They said you had 6
But-
months, I think.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
here's the thing: is it's still, honestly, when you look at it, though, is I get what Nintendo's doing, but Nintendo's not Disney.
Yeah.
These games, a lot of these games have never been played by anybody before, and maybe they just needed some edging on to watching content creators play the games to kind of
Yeah.
get into them.
But the thing is, they are kind of Disney in their own way. They have their own
Well,
fan base, and like these
They
games,
walk to the beat of their own drum, man.
they do.
They do.
But
It is
they're
Nintendo.
Disney-esque when it comes to like the love of their characters and
Mhm.
the exclusivity of exclusivity.
Say it again.
Exclusivity.
One more time.
Exclusive products that they
Once again, Jason. Exclusive.
See, Jared, you're
exclusive.
getting everybody started on things. Dang.
Exclusive.
I'm sorry, but
Triggers,
also
triggers.
but also the exclusive products that they come out with is just like Disney. People go crazy for them, and it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. But they do march to
Yep.
to the beat of their own drum.
So, good segue point, because let's talk about another company that's bouncing along to their own drum, and that's Xbox. So we
Mm.
know Xbox is really pushing backwards compatibility. They are adding on more and more games to Game Pass.
Octopath Traveler.
Octopath Traveler, I'm a fan of that game. And the fact that more people actually get to enjoy it now and
Mhm.
see just how good of a game that actually is.
Mm.
You have it on Switch,
But
right, Matt? Because I
I
think
have
I
it on
borrowed
Switch.
it once. Okay.
I've had it digitally. I have it digitally on my Switch. I let you try it out on my Switch when we were still out in
Oh yeah, that's
Colorado.
right. Okay.
But yeah, it is a great game, which is why I joke around about it being, Project Triangle Strategy being Octopath
Yeah.
Traveler Tactics,
Yeah.
because it's the same vein. But let's talk about that whole bad business decision making when we look at games with gold. We'd be remiss if we didn't talk
Games
about
with
it, guys.
Gold.
Oh
So
my
we
God!
talk about it every single month.
Please.
So
Who comes up with these?
Oh, look
prices?
at this. 3 out of
People
4
are-
titles I've never heard of again.
What the hell is this
truck-
crap?
Truck
So-
Racing Championship.
Wait, what? You don't have truck racing?
$60. How is
Dude.
that game $60?
Why does
Don't
their
know.
MSRP never go down? Why?
So I will say this. I
Vikings.
can remember.
It's not even Valhalla. It's not even Assassin's Creed. For $40.
Wait,
I remember
wolves.
Dark Void.
Wolves.
I mean, I remember Dark Void. I didn't play it, but
Oh
of
my
course,
God,
that's
that was a
Blockbuster days.
Garbage. That
but
was one of the
Hardcore
worst
Uprising-
rentals I ever got.
You know, Hardcore Uprising was the sequel to Contra, essentially. You know, the unofficial sequel to Contra. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are basically at the point now where they're even saying that this is the nails that are in the coffin for probably Xbox Live Gold, and it to eventually just be merged all into one thing, and this to finally go away.
I
Never
love
heard of
like
these
it,
games in
I
my
love
life.
in, I
Yeah.
love in bold big their whole thing is games with gold with $129.96 or 96 cents of value, 3,200 game score. Terrible.
Truck racing
3,200
is
game
$60.
scores.
Where are they
though,
getting
guys.
this
Come on.
3,200
that's the
in
other
game
thing.
score?
Where are
Like,
they
I don't
getting all of this
understand.
information?
Yeah.
$60.
What
Now,
I love
let's-
is like Xbox is doing kind of like the same thing that Nintendo does, where they never drop prices on anything, even if it's like the B movie equivalent of a video game.
Or even see truck
Alright,
driving
so-
championship.
I know you gotta
That's the
like make your
game.
money back. You know, I get that, but jeez, man, like
Never heard of it. What the
Oh,
hell's
man.
Now
that?
here is
At least be honest about your value here.
here's
And
PlayStation
look
Plus.
at this.
Yo,
Oh,
what?
yeah?
Oddworld's free?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah. This is
I
for
love
April, right?
Oddworld.
This is April.
Yeah.
So
April, yeah.
we're
Yo,
getting
that's awesome.
another PS5 exclusive game. Oh wait,
God,
Jason,
I love
exclusive.
Oddworld.
Jason, say it. Thank you.
Exclusive.
You know, you're getting Days Gone for free, which this is more on the PS4 side, which a lot of people have not played the game. So,
Mhm.
you know, Jerry, I know you dug the game a bit. So
Yeah.
from the folks up at Ben Studio, you know, that game is free for anybody that's got PlayStation 5 because it's part of the PlayStation 5 collection. And then you've got Zombie Army 4, which, you know, I've never heard of it, but obviously it's been around for a while because there's a fourth game. So, but still, Oddworld and Days Gone.
At least there's games you've heard of. And,
The
you know,
thing-
they're
Right,
pretty
right.
good.
Already
And that's-
destroys the
that's-
first list.
That's the thing that I like about
gold
PlayStation
list.
Plus is that like when you get a PS5, they literally put like 30 games on PS Plus for free.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like Persona 5, I think Monster Hunter World is on there. Last Guardian.
Mhm.
There's a
Yep.
bunch of RPGs and action games on PlayStation Plus when you first buy a PS5 for free.
No.
So if you've never played those games, you got 30 free games to mess around with.
Right.
Like
Now-
and all the
was
classic
it-
franchises too.
Yeah,
Like,
was
you
it
got
just-
Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
Uncharted 4, God of War, all of those you can already get.
So
And
That's
a
so
lot of
worth it.
PS5 games right now are coming out free too, like Destruction All Stars, Oddworld. There was another one I think that came out free too.
I don't get
So-
how Xbox doesn't get it because like PlayStation is getting a constant revenue stream
well, so
with PlayStation Plus because you have to have PlayStation Plus in order to keep playing those games that you're getting for free. Same with games with gold, anyways, but you're getting crap.
Hmm.
So I think let's look at that though. You talk about Xbox not getting with PlayStation, but PlayStation doesn't understand what Xbox is doing too. Let's be fair because they just shut down the PS3,
yeah.
Vita, and PSP stores. So
Yep.
if you haven't already bought the games, you don't have a lot of time left. You have until July 2nd for the PS3 and the PSP store, and then you have until the 27th of August officially now to get anything on the Vita. Once these are shut down, these games are lost. And I think the problem is that Jim Ryan doesn't really understand what backwards compatibility really means. Because he has come out and said, yeah, we've dabbled with backwards compatibility. And then when we do put it out there, nobody uses it. Well, you know what? I don't always play my Vita. I will pick that thing up every couple of weeks or something, play a little bit, and I go back to playing PS5 or Switch or whatever it is. But I think you look at what Xbox is doing is bringing everything forward with the generations. I think honestly, you by not doing something with backwards compatibility, especially like let's be frank, you know, you talk about Legend of Dragoon, right? And how many all of you guys reacted and how good of a game that was, especially some people in chat, that game is now lost to the ether unless you have a PlayStation 1, a PS3, a Vita, a PSP, and you've bought it already.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, I get it. I get why Sony's doing it. You know, it's server space. You know, that's to have that storefront up and running. It's server space. They're going to repurpose them, put them into, you know, other things. But I think what Xbox is doing, and I have to give Xbox their props with their backwards compatibility model. You know, Phil Spencer said a couple years ago, hey, this is our plan with Xbox Series and even One going forward, is that all your stuff's coming with you.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even if it comes to like remakes or reboots, stuff like that, at least have like, you know, a customer like vote on what game they want that year, and then they remake it.
Or B, at a minimum, why don't you get all this stuff and put it on PlayStation now?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There's your new revenue stream.
That's
So-
supposed to be, you know, their streaming thing, but they need to focus more onto it, I think.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing for me too, is like they have PlayStation 2 games on the store. They have PlayStation 3 games on the store. I think they might even have PlayStation 1 games on the store, like very rare of them, but why get rid of the legacy that they have? It's like they always talk about how the PlayStation 2 is the highest selling console ever, but then they want to phase out those
Everything to do with
games.
it, you know?
Like I don't understand that.
So-
Embrace your legacy. Like I have a lot of issues with Nintendo on things.
Yeah.
And it's still a travesty that we don't have Super Mario RPG on the Switch, by the way, Nintendo, if you're listening. But
Dude, I can name so many JRPGs from Super Nintendo. Okay?
Yeah.
Like I can name so many.
Yeah, with Nintendo Online though, like they are at least attempting to bring that legacy to the forefront, because I think Nintendo's thing is that legacy is their biggest asset. So
yeah,
that's why when they come out with 3D All-Stars, it's such a big deal. That when they come out with Breath of the Wild, it's such a big deal.
I'm sorry,
because people
there
are
was
so
no
invested.
demand for Skyward Sword as much as there was for Ocarina of Time.
I wanted Wind Waker so bad.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, kind of before we kind of wrap things up, we're gonna shine the spotlight back on Yunalescka for a minute. Soldier's already had this question before.
What do you want me to
Something
say?
that we ask of every guest that is on this
Oh.
podcast and has been since we started the, you know,
Day
2
one.
years ago.
It's rite of passage.
It is a rite of passage. Allows you to stay on the couch for future shows whenever you want to be on it.
Wait, you know, welcome. Like I didn't get to welcome you officially.
He didn't welcome you to the couch.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No, like
we're at the end. He says, "Oh, by the way, take a
time, we
seat."
just got straight into it." But you know, like grab a pillow, enjoy.
First, I was gonna be like, "Hi guys, nice to meet some of you."
I
Like,
know, we
I don't
just
know, man.
jumped
I don't
right
know.
in it. We're just-
I'm like,
Jason,
hello.
you know. Anyway, so when we are actually able to have those game nights with family and friends, okay, so let's look at this as in a non-COVID world.
Okay, non-COVID world.
Non-COVID world. What is your favorite game to play? Whether it is a video game, board game, card game, whatever it is. But what is your favorite game to play for game night with your family and friends when you have them?
I have two. I would say Catan for a board game.
Nice.
Or Mario Party, but like on the Wii. Like
Which
old
Mario
school.
Party?
I don't know which
Okay.
one I have, but I know when I played it on the Wii, it was one of the older ones. I don't remember. I don't know, but it was one of them, and those are my go-to games.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Mario Party. It's so like, I don't know. Some of the newer ones I haven't really touched because they just look okay, but like the older ones I find super fun.
Mario Party ends friends and family.
Does.
So does
It
Mario
ends them.
Kart.
But so does
Yeah, that
Catan if you
too.
play
Yeah.
with Matt.
But so does Catan though.
And
Catan
Catan
is
play with me.
cutthroat,
Catan.
man.
Like I get
Catan,
anxiety with Catan just because
I
of
love
Matt.
Catan. Oh,
Yeah, Catan's so good. I
I
had to
am
get it on the
cutthroat at
Switch.
it,
It's so
too.
good.
Man, dude.
So
Yeah, those two games.
Matt is the
Awesome.
most
So-
vicious thief and somehow the most consistent thief.
yeah,
in
he's very
Catan.
ruthless.
I
He's kind of a
swear
ruthless player.
he switches the dice that are loaded and rolls a 7 all the time.
Yeah. He's kind of scared. I think that's the first time I've ever like, man, something's kind of off on you. Right? you mean with this
hey,
game.
hold on. You've played Monopoly with me too. I'm not
Yeah, that's true.
That's
But
right.
also, but
So-
I'm
At
pretty.
the same time, you're not the Monopoly champ.
I'm pretty stubborn with negotiating.
Yes, somebody on this couch
Oh,
is a Monopoly champ for Crash and Game Night.
Mm.
Both the single
Um,
and multiplayer champ, sir.
I'm
Double
I'm a
belt.
post. I'm a
Double
fire champ as
belt.
well. There's
Ooh.
only
I don't know
one
if you-
person.
I
There's
don't know
only
if
one
you can
person
fully
that's not a
take
champion.
single because you haven't gone
Who's
against
that?
Matt single.
Because I won. I won.
Theo's the only non-champion.
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't ever
for
expect
Monopoly.
to win at Monopoly. I say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I haven't played Matt 1-on-1, but I mean, like, I've played the other two 1-on-1. WW.
Jason's starting a competitive Monopoly
Sir.
league.
Yes.
Sir,
Do it.
I need to try and get into the Monopoly championship.
Soldier, say
sir.
you join. If there was a Monopoly competitive league, you would join.
There is a Monopoly competitive league. There is a
Oh.
Monopoly championship.
dude, man, no way. Not Monopoly.
World
All right,
champion.
so Yunalescka, for those of the viewers that are out there that are familiar with your content and our listeners, once the audio drops this weekend, why don't you let those out there in podcasts and Twitch land know where they can find you on social media?
If you guys want to find me, you can find me on Twitch. I stream every day other than Sundays, so you can just look up Yunalescka. And then on my Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, it's Yunalescka Games. And that's about it. Yeah.
Well, Yunalescka, I absolutely want to thank you for crashing game night and also bringing
Dude,
the
anytime. It
wonderful
was-
viewers. You
I
are
love
welcome
talking
back.
to all of you.
You guys, you're welcome back anytime. Maybe we'll just let Soldier stay off out of the way sometimes. Let's just- No, we love
Soldier's
Soldier.
awesome.
No, we love
a
Soldier on
place.
that. He's
You know,
No, they have
I
to have
just-
room setup wars.
Now,
FC
now,
leader, man,
background.
don't diss my FC leader like that.
just you wait. Next time, I'm not sending you screenshots.
okay.
you know, I just want to
You're-
say thanks for making this aware to people. Like, I hope
Absolutely.
people actually listen to what's going on with the Final Fantasy VII fandom, because it's been going on for many years
time.
and it's been getting worse. So I hope if you guys see anyone that's getting bullied or anything that's just, I don't know, negative, like, try and make it positive if you can, you know.
Yeah.
Like, don't make the situation worse, just make it better if you can. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And thank
Rise
you so
above.
much for joining us, but also thank you for standing up and telling us your story, because you're making it easy for the others to stand up and
Mhm.
voice and stand up to the bullying.
My God,
So
Soldier.
thank you
Thanks, dude.
very
Oh,
much.
Kubo, Kubo,
Aw.
Kubo.
Okay, Soldier's
thanks to you
officially
guys
lost his
too.
mind. Soldier's
Oh,
officially
look.
lost his mind.
No, he's just flexing. He's just flexing hard.
Or is this
He's what
or,
he's got to do.
hey Soldier, is this an Easter egg of maybe a comeback?
This is my final form.
Oh, okay.
It is the
His
Final Fantasy.
form.
No, Jerry, to put it in perspective for you, it is Soldier's Final Fantasy beanie.
He's getting ready to
Hey.
play 14 now. He's got a raid.
I don't know if that
My
counts as
Moogle
final
hat.
form. Like Jerry, help him out. Find a onesie that will fit and work with the whole outfit.
If
And
you
then
find
that's
me a
final form.
Namazu onesie,
Oh,
Yes,
man.
please do it.
Challenge
Etsy,
accepted.
Etsy.com. They have lots.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Or what about the Amiibo? What about Amiibo onesie with the little yellow? Oh no, it's pink. It's pink. Maybe one of those. I can probably find one of those.
Probably on Etsy.
Yeah.
With that, I want to thank everybody for crashing game night with us tonight. Those that have hung out with us in chat all night long, and those that'll be listening to us on the
Yay.
podcast platform of their choice. As always, if you like what you heard, please hit that follow button on Twitch, hit that subscribe button on the podcast platform you're listening to us on. Also, go check out the website crashinggamenight.com, where we've got some of our articles going on, where we give our thoughts on some of the games. Jason's got mobile game Mondays. You know, we are, now that we've kind of gotten everything transitioned to the new logo and redesign on the website, we are going to be firing things back up. But everybody out there, especially with what we talked about and everything, I think how I close thing out is actually very, very prevalent right now, especially in the state, you know, climate and everything going on in the world. But please, everybody, I want to say, just be excellent to each other and stay frosty.
That's right. Frost
Yay.
cold. Keep it cold. Keep it ice cold, baby. That's right, all my fellow nerds and all my listeners. Thank you for joining us. And Uni, Soldier, thank you guys for joining as well and
Thanks for
opening
having
up
me and Soldier.
expressing your stories. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
Also,
me.
guys, the struggle is still out there. Black Lives Matter, Chinese Lives Matter,
Asian, please.
Asian.
life.
Asian, sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
But show your support, please, and just show some kindness and maybe give a hug. Let's spread the love.
When you
But
can.
only
when you
after
can.
but only after you get the vaccine, please.
When you can.
Yeah.
That is, yes, please.
Trust
And
me,
stay
I've
safe.
had it. You don't want it.
Let's please stay safe out there.
Definitely. Stay safe out there. As you guys have seen, 3 of us so far have gotten the vaccine. So when you are available to get it, please get it. It is very imperative. We are at the end of the line. Like, I think hopefully by May, we'll be able to start getting the general public into getting vaccines.
Yep.
So please, it is just around the corner. We have 2 months to go. As you heard earlier, there is going to be conventions slowly opening up. I don't know how. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they are slowly coming up. We even have online conventions that are opening up for free for the public. FanFest is just right around the corner. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But all in all, stay safe out there. For all the people that are in troubled weather, troubled times, hopefully you guys are still doing okay. But as we start to close it out, just definitely want to thank you guys again. Welcome to the couch again. You're always welcome to sit on there. Soldier, your spot's still saved right here. Shout outs to that Namazu shirt, sir.
That's so cute.
Love it. I love it. But my man Theo,
Send us
do it
out.
how you
Like only
always do.
can.
Just thank you guys for joining us tonight. Those conversations were amazing. Love the community that you guys brought with you. It was amazing.
Definitely.
Love having these guys in the chat. It's so awesome. Till next time, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Later.